Hi, anyone. We are watching the world load, I guess. Maybe. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. We are on our dumb mountain once again. And what we will be doing is... chopping down trees. That's right. I remember what we're doing. I have a game plan. I promise we do. So how are you guys this week? You guys doing all right? Having a fun time in the world? Doing the usual stuff? I don't know. I hope it's going okay for all of you. I'm doing all right. Could be doing better, could be doing a lot worse. I think the worst thing for me right now, personally, just my experience, is it's cold outside. So I'm struggling to deal with that. I'm just not I'm not a cold weather kind of guy, you know? See, there's always wood where you least expect it. So we are gonna be taking this stuff for a ride. Trying to get rid of all the wood. That's getting in the way of us placing more netherrack. Before we gather up more netherrack so we can place more netherrack and complain about it. That is the cycle of life here. we do things so we can complain about things. You might think it's pointless, but it serves a point. That point being, it's another thing to do. Another thing. Okay, that's fair. That's fine. And look at that. There's always another one. There's always another one hiding somewhere. So it goes, so it goes. Just think about all of the wood we're going to have when we're done with this. Jeez Louise. And we are going to have to plant some more trees. Because we are going to be recklessly destroying a forest, and that's no good. We gotta be responsible stewards of this world we find ourselves in. I believe that it shouldn't be controversial to say that, even in Minecraft. You gotta be a responsible steward of the planet in Minecraft. It reminds me of that time when people were using in Minecraft to append like violent statements they'd make so they wouldn't get banned off TikTok or YouTube. Or they wouldn't get demonetized on YouTube or banned off TikTok or whatever. I don't know. I wasn't really a content creator then. Maybe. I don't know. I don't really pay attention to what other people do. So I could have been, and I just wasn't paying attention. Or I'm not paying attention now, and now that more than a second has passed, I cannot accurately place when things happened in a timeline, you know? That's the kind of guy I am. The moment my eyes or mind are off a subject, it no longer exists within comprehensible three-dimensional time-space. But only from my own perspective, because it still exists within everybody else's, should they choose to perceive these elements. That's just the cruelty of the brain I've been given, I suppose. It's not a bad thing, it's not a good thing either. We're gonna keep taking out trees, but we're also gotta go back to the base before it gets dark. Otherwise, we're gonna have Ender Boys and Ender Girls messing up my junk. And as much as that's cool, I guess, it's also a pain, and I don't want that to happen. I like Minecraft because it kind of brings out the control freak parts of me, but not in a way where I scream at people, which is good. I don't have the vocal range to scream at people. I come across as like an angry autistic duck. And some people would be like, I don't really see you as angry. You definitely are making some vocalizations that sound pretty fairly foul. Foul-esque. It's fine. That's life. No matter what they tell you sound like, just do what you want to do. It's like, what's his pants? That one voice actor who was known for having the Gilbert Gottfried. Yeah. He made a whole career on having the most obnoxious voice ever. And it wasn't even his real voice. That was just something he did for money and clout. Imagine what you could do if you believed in yourself. Believe in yourself as much as Gilbert Gottfried believes in his own voice. I believe that is a good lesson. Probably not the best lesson, but you know, we're not here for the best. We're here to do what we can. See, that's all I want. I just want some saplings. I just want to destroy a forest without burning it down. We don't have to go too wild. We don't have to go hog wild on this stuff. We can just do what we can, as we need to. It's fine. It is what it is. We are chopping trees. What did I do this week? What stories can I regale you this week? I made it's not a fatal financial purchase or choice, but I did waste some money, unfortunately. Last year at some point, and I willingly did this, and I believe it was last year, it might have been, heaven forbid it was longer than that, but there's a website called the Pokemon Center, you know? And they sell exclusive Pokemon stuff constantly. And sometimes they sell stuff that was sold out before. Like if you missed your chance to buy an exclusive figurine and it comes back for the season or whatever, or a giant plush toy. In any case, there are a few giant plush Pokemon I'm interested in. And one of them came up. So I made a pre-order for a I don't know if it's life-size, it's called trainer-sized, but the trainer-sized Slowpoke plush. And I wasn't really expecting it to be super huge because, you know, I never really have checked how big Slowpoke is. I never really would have believed it was too terribly large. Like, you know, like a big dog size maybe. But I received the Slowpoke plush this week. Literally, like, was it yesterday or was it 2 days ago? I don't remember. But I desperately had to find a place to put this thing. And the box is big enough where, like, 2 people could easily fit in it. Easily. It's ridiculously big. And it's not like it's room size, but it's furniture size, that's what I'll say. Like if you had it in a room, you may have to move a chair out of that room, or like a love seat, in order to have room for the Slowpoke plush. It is monstrously big. And right now it's in my comic book reading chair because I don't have another spot for it. Like it takes up the chair, it takes up the cushions I have as like footrests while I'm in the chair. Like it's big. Like I had a few ideas where I was gonna put it originally, but like it's too big for them. So that was my experience with the giant Pokemon plush. And it's not the only giant Pokemon plush I own. I did years ago buy a giant Piplup. And I don't know why, because Piplup isn't my favorite starter. It's not even, I don't know, it's not like a top 5 or anything. Not a top 10 probably either. Like when I played Pokemon Diamond back in, what was it, 2006? 2007? 2005? Somewhere in there, whenever it came out, you know. I did pick Piplup as my starter for Pokemon Diamond. I've also, I've used, what's the, Chimchar was Platinum. And then I never actually played Pearl. I bought Pearl used, and I never really had the heart to delete the file and actually play it through. I had already played Diamond and Platinum, so I was like, well, you know, we've already gotten pretty much the definitive experience at this point. But I'm pretty sure I've used Torterra before. I have memories of training a Torterra, I think. So I don't know. Maybe I did play Pearl. Or maybe I'm remembering wrong and I never used Chimchar. Maybe because isn't Diamond really bad and only has 2 fire types, that being Ponyta and Chimchar? I'm pretty sure one of these games I did use Ponyta. So I think we used Torterra for Platinum. I got it wrong. Okay, that makes more sense, because I do have memories of training a Torterra. Good old Turtwig. But yeah, those are my random Pokemon memories. Okay. Wow. Okay. We're probably gonna want the dumb saplings. And do we have any more saplings? I don't believe we do. Come on, just stop yanking my chain, please. Okay. Well, I think these are all the saplings. Wait, we've got... That's what I thought. Okay. I thought it was night, but maybe it's just... I mean, the sun is setting, but it's... not really setting that fast. Okay. Huh. Okay. I don't know why that's like that, but that's... Oh, these are both water and these are all lavas. Okay. And you know what we can do? We can find a spot for the lava right now. That should be fine. That should be fair. Wow. I don't know, I was looking at the sound stuff for this song and it's just bouncing up and down like wild, and it's like, okay. I mean, this isn't calm jazz or anything, but you know, it's still not... Okay, whatever. Gotta not look at the OBS stuff, right? That's how you poison your brain. Okay. Now we can combine these. And at some point we can gather more lava. Yep. That is the thing to do. That is a thing to do. That is a thing we can do. Someday. At some point. You know, at some point. But not now. Okay, we got a bunch of whatevers. Where are you? I hear you smacking about. Am I dumb? Huh. Weird. Okay. Whatever. Another day, another couple of trees to chop down. Yeah, I also received a bunch of canvases as well. And the best part is these ones are already all ready to paint on, so I don't have to gesso them up like the ones I've been working on. So that's cool. I don't know if I'm ready to paint. It's been a long time since I painted. And I've never been formally taught, so like my paintings are kind of garbage. But people occasionally like them, so it's like, okay. I guess we can do more here about that. People. And I guess it's less that people are interested, it's more like, well, it's something different, and it's something I enjoy, or at least used to enjoy, so we might as well see if it's still enjoyable. Might as well try to do something a little different. A little bit different-y. There we go. Wow, look at this forest we're making. And I've been watching, I finally rewatched all of the Owl House on one streaming service for once. So that's pretty cool. It's one of my family members has access to Disney Plus, or has a Disney Plus membership. So I'm exploiting that, watching random Disney whatevers. I don't know what I'm truly going to get into next. Right now I'm trying to get back into Wander Over Yonder. Aw, man. I love the idea of the show. It's just it's not something I can watch for long periods of time on my own. Like I can binge the Owl House. I can watch a lot of other things, easy peasy. It just, I don't know. Wander Over Yonder is something I enjoy conceptually and musically. Like it's got some great songs, got some little earworms sometimes. But I don't know. It's not something I could like binge. I don't know. I say that it's like, yeah, we're gonna watch the entire thing by the end of next week. And you're gonna be like, they shouldn't have canceled it. It should have got a season 3. It should have got a movie. Curse you, Disney. How could you ruin everything you touched? Aw, man, some guy's attacking me. I see you, some guy attacking me. Let me pull out my sword. Yeah? What do you think? How's it feel? When I'm some guy attacking you, idiot. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. The Owl House deserved a proper third season. I don't know about like any other shows that they mistreated. I know Cartoon Network has a long stream of shows where it's like, yeah, you know, you've been on long enough. It's time. The foreign investors are no longer interested. You're polluting their children's brains with too much Western creativity and weird opinions. I mean, that's not really how those conversations go. But, like, sometimes that's kind of the implication. Oh, wow, look at that. And we have not gotten a... Oh, hey, we are getting mushrooms from this. Okay. Fascinating. We got 2. That's not nearly enough to justify tearing apart the old mushrooms that are lurking here. Yeah, we are really claiming wood. And that's fine, that's okay. We can always use more wood. I don't know what we'll use it for. We can make a mansion. We can make airships. We will grow trees and make airships. We'll make an armada over the entire world. Just one big chain of airship bases. I feel like I read a book like that where there was like they were in like hot air balloons, but they were like a bunch of them. And I know, I'm thinking about it, isn't that a location or thing from the Unfortunate Series of Events series? I want to say it is. Wasn't there some sort of character or group that had a hot air balloon, a bunch of like hot air balloons like tied together as like their own independent like research area or nation or whatever? I don't know. There's a lot of cool funky junk in that series. So, and I haven't read those books since I was like in middle school, so I don't know. Is that okay? Neat. Gonna keep picking up everything we can. Those are the normal oaks, these are the dark oaks. Okay. Let's see. Oh, the sun's above me. Hooray. Or oh no, or whatever. Why don't you look as dark as the other ones? Is it because... Huh. Okay, whatever. Yeah, this should be far away enough where it shouldn't affect anything, I feel. And if it does, that's on me. That's gonna be on me if it is, unfortunately enough. I think those are too close. There we go. That's probably better. That's probably a better choice. Okay. Although I feel like this guy might be too close as well. It's gonna depend how far we extend this stuff, I guess. How wild and wacky we want it to be. Like one show that I'm thinking of that I enjoyed when it was airing is Star versus. Like Star versus the Forces of Evil. But man, I don't I don't know if I can go through that last season again. Not that it was terrible or anything, it's just it wasn't really my cup of tea. And I know the ending, a lot of people, very controversial ending, really. Although there's a lot of people who stand by it and stood by it when it aired. I thought it was okay. Like, I don't know. Personally, if it had another season or two, and that's kind of the downfall with like some of these children cartoons. Like if they had another season to really dig into their ideas and really just lay it all out, like it would be fine. But like that's not the point of a kid's cartoon. The point of a kid's cartoon isn't to create a cool world so adults can enjoy it. The point of a kid's cartoon is kind of just to get people to keep watching the channel so people will see the ads, the commercials, and then buy stuff, or to get people to buy the merchandise of the actual show if the show has merchandise, which a lot of kids' cartoons, they used to. I don't know. I guess they do. I don't know. I worked at a toy store once. I mean, there's still a lot of toys and stuff, but I don't know. A lot of it seems to be geared equally towards like adult collectors. So I don't know how I feel about it. As an adult collector, I don't know how I feel about toys being increasingly geared towards just the adult collectors. And I get it, you know, the adult collectors have money, or at least they pretend to have money as they spend out beyond their means to acquire stuff that they can't use to benefit their life at all. It feels good. It feels good to have, I get it, like it feels good to have shelves full. It feels good. But it's not helpful, usually. I say, as a guy who has to figure out where I'm gonna put a 5-foot long Slowpoke plush. Oh man, I wish I had money in my own house and could just have a room full of these dumb things. Like get like some sort of specialty carpet or some specialty flooring so the room looks like a river, and just have these dumb Slowpoke dolls just positioned so it looks like they're fishing in this imaginary river room I created specifically for them. That would be pretty cool. And it's not even the dumbest room idea I've ever concocted. I think that's the worst thing. Like, there's far worse sins against interior design in my heart and in my mind. I think the best one would be the closet bedroom, which is dangerous as crap, because it would literally just be a room big enough for like a bed, but also the floor is like set in, or like, you know how some people have those descending living rooms where they have like a step and then everything inside the living room, like all the couches, are lower than the actual floor around them? Think something like that, except your mattress is there. So your mattress is level with the floor outside the bedroom, and the entire room is just like this closed closet room area with a mattress in it. I dream of a space like that. I would love it. But only if the door opened. It needs to open into the hallway for a room like that to truly, properly work, and not be a total nightmare for whoever's trying to sleep in it. But you would have to concede and have some sort of like escape window leading to the outside if you're going to do that. Because I feel like that's the kind of room that would become a death trap. If the worst happens, and it doesn't always, but you know, if we're finding people willing to build our experimental houses, they may not be on the up and up. So while I may enjoy my my closet bedroom and my slowpoke room, it could in fact be fire hazards or some other sort of hazard. And that's life. You gotta deal with it. Oh man. If only we could all. Really? Okay. Only we could all get away with paying workers the bare minimum and then getting the maximum result. And if only we didn't have to, you know, work to eat. So it wouldn't matter if we shortchanged people constantly. It has no bearing on the economy if we just continually deprive workers of a fair wage. Because I need the stuff I need and want now. And I need it now. And I need it faster, actually. I've been thinking of these dumb houses ideas since I was like a teenager. Why don't I have a house? It's probably because everybody else is getting all the money I deserve. If you think that's unhinged, like there are people who legitimately kind of feel like that. That because somebody else in a different discipline is getting paid more, that is a indictment of them somehow. And that's why we will never have class solidarity. It always comes back to politics. It always comes back to divided we beg, united we demand, you know? That's not the actual phrase, but I didn't... Kind of brain farting on the actual words there. Unfortunately. Yeah, have some class solidarity, join a union. Always hilarious to me. I worked at a place with a union, and a lot of the people who worked there were not in support of the union, even though it was the only reason we were earning more than everybody else in our like field at the time. And it's like, this is literally because we've got the union, you guys. Like, that's the only reason we're making $17 an hour for a work that often gets paid $12 an hour, if that. I don't know what you guys are complaining about. I mean, I as long as we weren't talking about wages, I knew what they were complaining about. Like, the job was shit. All jobs are shit. Unless you like it. If you like your job, that's great. Like, I'm glad things are working out for you. Really, like, a lot of people don't. And a lot of people do. Although I think some of the people who do, I think some of it just, they like what it allows them to do to people. If you have a job where you get to lord it over someone, like, you're probably happy. If that's what you're into. There's a lot of people... Actually, we don't have to cut down this. I don't know, man. I don't know anymore. Maybe we'll just take them all out. Redistribute them, whatever. Move them around. I don't know. We'll see. But I've been following the UFO stuff lately too, and like, it's interesting watching. I guess it's not really interesting to me anyways. watching these communities boil down and over the same kind of stuff again and again and again. You get some weirdo who talks about how the government's using psychic people to communicate and commandeer and steal living UFOs, and it's like, okay. I've read worse sci-fi, so, you know, I can entertain it. I don't believe it, but I can entertain it. And you have some other guy who's like, yeah, and you know what? I attended a group where the government used psychic people to summon a UFO for billionaires. And it's like, okay, I'd believe it, you know, like, you know, some of these guys definitely seem like they came to Earth on a mothership, you know? But at the same time, it's like, why didn't anyone get any photos, any pictures? Well, if we did, the government would kill us. And it's like, I don't know, like, okay. You're telling me in an age where everybody has smartphones? And I guess that's my thing. Like, as long as there's gonna be smart alecks who are like, well, we live in an age where everybody has smartphones, why don't they get better pictures of UFOs or Bigfoot? And it's like, I mean, the point of these things are that they're kind of fast. Like, how long does it take you to get your phone out of your pocket? A few seconds, right? And that time, the ideal photo might have already passed. And that's not to defend, like, the idea of UFOs or Bigfoot based on solely how much of a quick draw someone is with their smartphone. But it is a consideration. It's not really it's not the gotcha you think it is. And I think that's my biggest criticism of being anti the paranormal or the unexplainable, is when all the criticisms are like gotchas. But that's just me. I've been very interested in this stuff for a long time. And a lot of it is dumb or doesn't make sense. I get it. I hate those parts of it too. Like my personal fun theory with non-human intelligence, aliens, extraterrestrials. What's the new term? Crypto-terrestrials, whatever we want to call them, whatever we want to believe. My personal like fun theory is, number one, all stories that we hear are wrong. I think that's the best one. That there is the idea that there is a phenomena, but everything we've observed and everything we've used to describe it is just completely off the mark. I think that would be hilarious. That's what I want to happen most of all. I would love it if these beings came down to us and were like, no, that's not how it is at all. We're not from another planet. We're not from another dimension. We're not from inside your planet. I think that would be hilarious. That's the world I want to live in. The world where everybody's wrong all the time is the world I want to live in. If I can't live in a world where we try our best and where empathy is right, then I want to live in a world where everybody's wrong all the time. I want people's noses to be rubbed in how dumb and wrong they are. And I know that's mean and childish and petty. But look at how things go in this world. We live in a world where it's more morally acceptable to allow people to die so that insurance companies can squeeze out millions of dollars every year from people that don't even bother to help. We live in a world where somebody hoarding all the food is seen as more morally okay simply because the guy has the money than somebody stealing the food to feed, like, himself or starving relatives, you know? And while there are cases where in those kinds of extreme situations, judges have ruled for the people doing what they can to protect human life and dignity. Oftentimes, it goes the other way as well. It really depends. And that is my that's my political soapbox, for today, this week. If anybody tries to tell you that empathy is a sin, just tell them they're right, and then punch them in the face. That's my attitude. If people want to be the worst they can be, well, I'm going to show you I can be way worse, and I'll be way more creative in how worse I am. If you gave me Elon Musk's money and power, I would be far more efficient at ruining people's lives. The guy is not good at anything. And that's kind of what ticks me off about it. Because why rehash the past? I don't have to be. I don't have to be a Nazi because my parents are Nazis. No. I can be a horrible person because I want to be a horrible person. And I mean, that's not an argument. I mean, it is an argument against being Nazis or being Elon Musk. Well, my parents moved to South Africa because the rest of the world hated them and their dumb ideas. And I was raised in South Africa, but I see myself as a man of the world. Because I've artificially inseminated a woman on every continent other than Antarctica. Elon Musk is hilarious. And if he wasn't one of the world's richest men, allegedly, then it would be a lot. I don't know. You can say that, but it's like, yeah, but he's also pretty heinous. He's got a lot of dumb takes. His only real claim to fame is he buys companies that are doing stuff that's cool scientifically, and then generally gets kicked out of them at some point. Well, he only got ousted out of PayPal. And that was Peter Thiel and his goons. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. I already know too much about Elon Musk. More than I need to know. But yeah, that's another political soapbox rant. I don't know. I always thought he was a weird guy, even when he was like just the spaceship guy, just the financial company dude, formerly bald, hair plugs dude, like, I mean, he wasn't bald, but still had to get hair plugs. That's not, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about saying stuff like that, because it's like, there's tons of people who aren't evil who need hair plugs. Like, if you say it like that, if you say like, oh yeah, it's Elon Musk and his hair plug, blah blah blah. It's like calling Donald Trump fat, I mean, sure, it's true, but there's so many other way more important things to bring to the conversation than just insulting the guy. Like, on one hand, yeah, if you're a billionaire or millionaire, whatever, for your entire life, why aren't you hiring personal trainers? And like, we know why Donald Trump doesn't have personal trainers. He literally believes that the human body is like a battery, and if you use it more, it dies faster. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he just says things. If I was being interviewed randomly all the time, and I had never done anything of actual achievement on my own, I would probably also look like a fool. I'm sure I sound like a fool right now to a lot of people. But, especially when I'm just playing Minecraft. I'm just Minecrafting it up with my placing dumb trees everywhere. Chopping down trees by almost hand. Yeah. I have no credibility either. But because I don't have money, I have less credibility, which is kind of a wild perspective. There we go. Wild perspective. People with no money or no careers have less credibility. And like the career thing actually is sometimes a good thing. Like it's kind of wild that there are people on social media who think they can argue with scientists and doctors just because they have strong feelings about things they've never read a paper about. I've never thought about critically until some random other person on the internet started talking about it. I don't know. Am I not just another person with strong opinions about stuff chirping to who knows who? Like, I don't know. It's a weird world we live in. And it's a darn shame that the people who most deserve justice don't get it. And that there are people who could be helped. There are people who could be saved. There are people whose lives could be improved by very small changes to the way we do things and see things. And the only thing stopping that is literally people would feel weird about it. And I think that's pretty infuriating. I don't think we needed to come back yet. I mean, we keep returning way too early. That's on me. That's on me. Honestly, at some point we gotta empty this out. Bring some of this wood back to the old homestead. I'm underneath the lily pad, okay. That's fair. That's life. Come on. How many? There we go. How many of these can we acquire? And can we... Okay, that's not what I wanted. Again, not what I want. That's better. That's better. Maybe we'll make a lily pad bridge at some point. Let me sleep in my bed. Let me sleep in my bed. Go to bed. You said go to bed. B-E-D. I'm gonna end up rewatching The Simpsons, aren't I? I've got so many dumb quotes stuck in my head from watching that series as a kid. And from watching random YouTubers who do like Simpsons posting pretty regularly. Like there's Dankmiss who remixes random Simpsons random Simpsons lines into really cool songs. I don't think they post anymore, but they've got a lot of good musical junk. Definitely check out Dankmiss. And then let's see who else is really cool. I don't know. I feel like a lot of the other random Simpsons stuff is just random stuff you find that just gets recommended to you randomly. Like there's this one video called The Dud. Or is it The Dud? It's something about the dud, like Homer gets the dud or Homer gets punished for unveiling the dud or whatever. And it's just this really weird video where everybody in it slowly becomes Homer Simpson as the dud is revealed to them. It is bizarre stuff. Like, I don't know. I'm always a fan whenever The Simpsons becomes unintentional body horror. Not a fan of when real life becomes unintentional body horror, but always a fan when a cartoon does. Okay, we're actually doing all right, I would say. We got a lot of trees to get rid of though. We got a lot of ground to cover. And our axe is nearly depleted. Yeah, we got this whole area. And then we should take out some of this. I suppose. Okay. I feel like whenever our axe breaks, we're gonna take stuff back to the base. Okay, whatever. We don't need to do that. That's not an okay thing to do, actually. It's not okay to use an axe to chop down leaves. I mean, you can do it. No one's gonna stop you. But, kind of a waste. I'll do it for the top one anyways, though. I don't care. Man, my opinions on a lot of subjects can be pretty much boiled down to if the world is as stupid as a lot of conspiracies kind of make it seem like it is, I want no part of this world then. Like, I don't know. Especially with the way the UFO stuff is going. We're gonna go back to the UFO stuff. I wanna talk about some of this stuff a little more. So it's not really a new idea that the UFOs or the UAP or the non-human intelligence is like spiritual or just consciousness. Like, that's not a new idea. It is a frustrating idea though, because how do you prove that? How do you prove that a consciousness is visiting people? Or has been directing the world? Or has an interest in us? How do you prove that something from another dimension is out there, you know? But more importantly, I definitely kind of get the feeling from more recent postings and like whistleblowing leaks that this is either a distraction or it's an attempt to make like some sort of space cult. I don't know. And I could be wrong. Maybe the world, despite all of our observations saying it's a pretty physical thing, full of rules and stuff, maybe all the rules can be defied, and despite we have no provable examples of psychic powers, maybe the psychic people are right. Maybe I don't know. I'd be really upset if that were the case. Those are my personal biases coming into play. And that's not a very healthy attitude to have, and I understand that. But, definitely would not be happy if it turns out that psychic powers are a thing and that aliens can be, contacted with just a little bit of thinking real positive thoughts at the sky in a group. I don't know, it's just wild stuff. It almost beggars belief. But at the same time, like, there are a lot, and I wouldn't say credible when it comes to these kinds of stories, like, whether it's UFOs or Bigfoot. Like, I'm not gonna call people hoaxers. I'm not gonna say that people are liars and mentally ill. But I'm also not gonna use the word credible because, anybody can do anything for, like, no reason at all. That's the cool thing about people. We do tons of pointless things. Counterproductive and pointless stuff all the time for no reason other than it amused us. Sometimes not even that. We've all spent too many hours in a game we didn't like at all, right? That's the thing people do. Or so I'm told. But yeah. I don't know. I definitely do find some stories interesting. I find a lot of stories pretty horrifying, actually, especially when it comes to UFOs especially. But definitely there's some really creepy Bigfoot ones. But, I don't know. I'm not gonna say I'm the arbiter of what's true or what's not. Because, I'm just me. I'm just me. I haven't experienced this stuff at all. So it's kind of wrong of me to say that to someone who has, or believe they've experienced something, that they're wrong or lying. But at the same time, I don't know, it's kind of like the old talk of, like, why are the people who get contacted by God, like, the mentally ill or the crackpots, you know? Like, it's kind of that kind of thinking, and some of that's really rude and terrible. It definitely is. It's fairly elitist and extremely dismissive. But, you'd think if there was an omnipotent being that was interested in making sure the entire world knew of its sheer power, it could just do that by itself, you know? It would need to sneak around. It would just, like, beam into everybody's heads, like, I am the one true God. Know me in either despair or know me and learn to love me, ding-dongs. Treat each other with respect, you idiots. You'd think something like that would happen, right? And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's unreasonable to believe. Could ever happen? Would ever happen? I don't know. Like, I'd be kind of okay if it turns out there is a higher power. It's not the God of any religions. It's just, it exists. It's the reason life exists, more or less. Or maybe it's not the reason life exists, but maybe it's the reason consciousness exists, for whatever reason. Maybe that's the dumb way it works. And I guess I could be fine with that. But I'm not really gonna be okay with, like, God exists, it's an alien, everything you know is wrong. Also, everything you care about morally is wrong because there are no morals. There are no morals in space. In space, no one can hear you scream, so you get to do whatever you want. I don't know. Aw, man. Okay. I just get really... And I guess one last little sticking point for me is I get real sick and tired of listening to people talk about morality. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's always the grossest. The people with the grossest opinions are the ones who want to talk about morality for other people. Like, it's fine if you're using whatever holy book or whatever piece of fiction to dictate your own personal code of conduct. That's cool. That's something we should all be doing. We should be experiencing other people's perspectives. And when something really jives with you, when something really clicks, like, yeah, make that a part of how you see things. That's fine. That's how people have been doing it forever. You know, we don't have to go too totally wild with it. Like, literally, like, the manga One Piece has influenced a lot of my feelings towards things way more than it should. It's a goofy cartoon about goofy pirates that gets really serious at random points, constantly. And nobody dies, except for when people need to die. Like, it's a silly little thing. And yet there are morals, and... what do I want to say here? There's moral insight, that's what I want to say. There's moral insight that can be gleaned from this dumb little pirate series. There we go. And I say that as somebody who's been reading it weekly for over 10 years and has been reading it since I was literally like 12. I've been reading One Piece since 2003. So it's been over 20 years for me. My brain is cooked at this point with fictional pirate justice and fictional pirate rules. Fictional pirate opinions, you know, it's fine, it's okay. I feel like a lot of people who consume a lot of fictional media, whether we'd call them weebs, whether we'd call them like nerds, dorks, whatever flavor of fictional overindulger you are, I feel like we've all got a media that's influenced us a lot. And I don't think, and as long as it's a positive thing, I don't think you really need to be judged too hard on whether it's Star Trek or Star Wars or One Piece, Yu-Gi-Oh. Please don't tell me you've got your moral code from Yu-Gi-Oh. Well, I only got my moral code from the first 7 volumes of the Yu-Gi-Oh manga. If people aren't getting penalty games in Minecraft, I don't give a crap. That's the only fitting justice system. Everybody gets Minecraft. Everybody deserves a penalty game. It's like a far more invasive and far crueler version of everybody gets a boot to the head and a kick in the pants. I don't know. But I'm definitely getting to the point in real life where it's like, be better. Just screaming be better at people. In real life. Going insane. Because no matter how much you tell people to be better, they won't become better. In fact, just saying those words makes them want to be worse. Out of spite. Golly, I hate this world so much. And yet it's full of really cool things. It's full of animals that need to eat multiple times their body weight every day. It's full of animals that don't have to do that. It's full of plants that can eat animals. It's full of plants that can glow. It's full of animals that can glow. We've got coelacanths and tuataras, crocodiles, poisonous, at least one species of poisonous bird. That's cool. Lots of dumb stuff that glows. Like, I don't know. We live in a really cool world, and I would love to learn. I say I'd love to learn more about it. I'm not reading any books, though. I'm over the age of 20. I'm not reading anymore. No, but also kind of valid. If you don't know what coelacanths or tuataras are, coelacanths are a really cool fish that you can catch in Animal Crossing. In real life, if you were to catch one, you wouldn't be able to keep it in an aquarium because they live in deep seas, they live in colder waters. It's kind of hypothesized that they actually live in underwater caves and stuff. That's where they rest. They're really cool because they represent a distinct lineage of fish where they're very distinctly like lobed-finned fish, kind of like lungfish or mud skippers, you know. fish that have more limbs than fins. But coelacanths still have very distinct fins. It's just they're very fleshy. They were believed, and here's the really cool thing about the coelacanth line. They were very common back in the day, like hundreds of millions of years ago. And then they kind of just disappear from the fossil record. Like, you find them everywhere, all the time. And then they just disappear. And then they were rediscovered, like, in the early 1900s. And it was a big thing because, like, Loch Ness was really popular. And they're like, oh, yes, this is the real Loch Ness. This is why these two things are conflated. Because we have these stories of a prehistoric monster in a lake that's never been found. And then we have this prehistoric fish that we've rediscovered. And that's fucking cool. That's super awesome. And it's not really a prehistoric fish because it's been evolving. The two species of coelacanth that we know of have been evolving the entire time they've been here. So they're equally as evolved as everything else that's on this planet, you know? But still, like, it's really cool that we have a species of fish that we know only of fossils until we actually found a real one. That's really cool. And that's a coelacanth. If we ever figure out a way to, and also they're really big, like, they're like 5 foot long. Like 4 to 5 foot long fish. Like, they're big suckers. They're big suckers and they don't taste good. Like, apparently their flesh is really waxy and stuff. And they just have like a bad taste and smell, so people don't eat them. Which is cool, because I'm sure if they were delicious fish, that we would not be able to enjoy them. Even though we really can enjoy them, we can talk about them and think really good, positive thoughts about the fact that coelacanths exist. I feel like both species are endangered, but it's really cool that they exist. And hopefully my gushing about them isn't off-putting. I'm a big coelacanth fan. I don't know if I'd say they're my favorite animal, but there's something about their, like, dumb little faces that makes me smile. I am definitely a fan of coelacanths. And then there's the tuatara, which was the other animal I brought up. That's also another one that's considered a living fossil, because this one's a little different though, because it's a reptile. It looks like a lizard, but it's not related to lizards in the same way that, like, snakes and turtles aren't related to lizards. Like, they're all reptiles, but reptiles had a big heyday back in the day and had a lot of time to diversify. So it's not like the animals we see today are all there was. No, there was tons of things running around. Like, the dinosaurs are reptile. More reptiles. Also birds, but, you know, whatever. That's what happens when we do our weird human, like, try to classify things and it has to be one thing or another, and it can't be another thing, but it's like, well, a lot of things are multiple things. That's just life. You know, you gotta learn to accept that things are what they are. But yeah, the tuatara is not a lizard. It's the only surviving member of its kind. It's a very fascinating creature. They live like 70 or 80 years. They have an organ on their forehead that can detect light, allegedly. Like, they're really fascinating creatures. And it's a shame that our introduction of rats and other household or human-adjacent pests has decimated their population. That's also how kiwis are too, though. The kiwi birds, like, because of rats on the island they live on, they've been pretty hit hard. I don't know. It's unfortunate that other species have to suffer for our actions. And on one hand, like, nothing we have today would exist without the aids of exploration and people encountering other people, you know? A lot of what we have is literally because the world is increasingly globalized. And it's easier than ever to have a business operate in one country and have all the products that are made for this company be made in another company or in several companies, and have the raw resources for those products be mined and acquired in even more countries. It's really cool. Until you read up on the exploitation of labor as you go down the chain. That really sucks. I don't know. We need better labor rights for the entire world. And maybe that's what's keeping the aliens from contacting us. Maybe it's just they're aware that if they come down, no matter what they give us, no matter what they sell us, we will find a way to lie to them and trick them and extort as much money and value as we can out of them. The human mind is a machine that turns anything into pure money. We're so good at it, we even had to make a system that runs on imaginary money. We have multiple systems of imaginary money just because we're so addicted to numbers and the idea of wealth and acquisition. And if we weren't destroying the planet and literally killing thousands, if not millions of people prematurely every year, I'd say that's kind of cool. I'm kind of a big fan of man-made horrors beyond our comprehension. You always assume it's going to be like robots or some sort of tech enslavement or spying technology, but no, it's numbers. It's how humans are enslaved by numbers mentally. It's how we will never defy our masters because we like the numbers too. We're all in here together. And our brains have been irreparably warped by the was that a cow? Did I hear a cow or was that something else? I was talking, so I didn't really hear the sound, but I hope it was a cow. Might have been a Koopa, but you know, I hope it was something non-harmful. Yep. And that's my radical idea for you guys to ponder. Are you enslaved by numbers? Can you say that you are a free person? Do you live every aspect of your life without considering numbers? Imaginary or otherwise? I don't know. The longer I live, the more I think whoever wrote or directed or whatever Logan's Run is. I know it's a movie, but also I thought it was a book. Like whoever came up with that idea of 30-year-olds being cold, and that's just society, you deal with it. You know, I think they had a good point, and I say this as a guy who's 34. Maybe we need a Logan's Run world. Of course, like, I also have bad takes in the sense that I'm fine with an AI controlling the world as long as it controls everybody equally. Like, as long as nobody gets to escape the AI overlord, I'm fine with it. That's my only sticking point. If there are people who are allowed to escape, and it's not because like if it only allows the most pure and innocent of like cinnamon rolls to escape, that's fine. If you are a good person, if you are objective, but at the same time, it's like, what's a good person to an AI? I don't know. Like, if it's the AI deciding it, like, it's got to be everybody. No one escapes. I don't trust anything to do this right. Or it's less right, like, and it's more, I don't trust anything to do it the way I want it to be done. And again, I'm a control freak. I'm a weirdo. If I can't guarantee it's going to be done the way I want it to be done, then I just want it to be done in the most horrible way possible. Let the AI gobble up everybody. And that's really petty and really awful. But at the same time, like, me saying stuff like that means nothing. I have no power over an AI company. I have no ability to influence them. And also the AI that we're working on are just, they're being made to steal people's content and churn out garbage. Some of it's cool looking garbage, but it's still like, it's not copyrightable. It should be not profitable. Read an interesting article that like what is it? Is it the Chinese AI deep slate or something like that? It's like, I don't know if it's Chinese, but it's a foreign AI, generative AI named Deep Slate or something, or Deep Stock. I don't remember. It's something that starts with a deep. Is they published how much it costs them to do stuff, and based on those numbers, like the wealth of, or not the wealth, but the value of AI companies could decrease just because this one company is able to do stuff really, really cheaply and is also perfectly happy just releasing that information. As opposed to a lot of these companies where they're not releasing any information and are completely black boxed in. You're not allowed to see anything other than the results of the AI. So that's, I don't know, it's neat how the information wars are going to continue. We could have lived in a world with free information where people believed in the value of adding to the sheer archive, the human library. We could have lived in a world where the internet was a force for good, where all the ideas of mankind could be stored forever. And instead we're arguing about whether or not it's a good thing or a bad thing to allow, I don't know. We're just always arguing about dumb stuff. But it's also kind of terrible to say something's dumb, you know? Well, that's just my opinion. But at the same time, there are legitimate, I don't know, it's one of those things where I can say something's dumb, right? But I've definitely read articles and papers where a politician or a business person was like, why do we spend money? Why does the government spend money on researching this or that? And it's like, because probably somebody made the paper, made the grant, or put in the paperwork to get the grant, and then studied it. Like, there's so much that we have that, you know, it's not like anybody goes trying to design. I mean, definitely there are people trying to design a lot of things, but a lot of things that get designed or a lot of things that end up existing aren't the original form that the research took. There we go. Like, I don't know, you never know what direction insight is going to come from. You never know where innovation is going to spring. So it is a little frustrating to see people be like, oh yeah, why are we spending money studying insects? And it's like the insects are one of two terrestrial animals, man. Like, and I say that, it's not just insects. We do share this world with mollusks and all the other associated, like, arthropods. I mean, we're already considering all the arthropods. It's not just insects. We're considering the crustaceans. We're considering all the other things that, like, mites and spiders are, like arachnids and stuff. We're considering them. But for now, it's arthropods. It's bugs. Like, if it's not bugs, it's lobe-finned fish, basically. And I know that's not entirely right, but it's basically right. It's like Crypt Notes, right? Like, you know, it's fine. If you only need to know stuff for the test, it's fine. You don't need to, if you're not really interested, it's okay. Is it perfectly honest? Not really, but you know, it's fine. We study insects because they represent a huge amount of biomass and biodiversity. They're freaking fascinating. They're also icky. I don't like bugs, but you know, I like the idea of bugs. They got neat little bodies. They do neat little things. They do horrifying things. And they've existed on this earth probably longer than anything else. And I mean on the land. Like, things that existed in the ocean, there's tons of things that are older than them. Like sponges and jellyfish and who knows? Like, we live in a weird world. And I would really, really appreciate if people could just spend a little bit more time learning about it. Instead of getting all weird about their assumptions and trying to dictate what other people can and can't do. But it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to just say that people shouldn't be able to do this or that. And also say they're a bad person for doing this or that. And I get it. I do the exact same thing. I'm always saying, like, oh yeah, billionaires shouldn't exist. People who don't replace the toilet paper roll or the paper towel roll don't deserve to exist. I would rather have a world run totally by AI in the most brutal way possible, where there is no human spirit allowed at all, than live in a world where people can get away with, like, not pushing the shopping cart back in the stupid little shopping cart cubby. And that is a brutal opinion. It's incredibly anti-human. That can be pretty much... That can sum up my personal philosophy, though, I feel. Upset that people aren't better to people, so I became anti-human. It's stupid in its own way, but there's an efficiency there that people don't appreciate, I feel. Not that you need to appreciate being anti-human. You really shouldn't. If you're a person, don't appreciate that kind of sentiment. Don't encourage it. Nothing good can come of it. At the same time, man, am I so tired of seeing the same dumb crap again and again and again. Like, I'd be willing to forgive a lot of dumb, evil stuff if it just wasn't repeated. Like, have your chance, shoot your shot, and then do something else. Why do you keep trying to do this? Well, because I just hate people with different skin colors. Or because I really hate people with a different religious belief. Or because I really just hate this or that. It's gross. Be better. And I'm realizing now, having gone on a very long rant about all kinds of things, that I never really got off my political soapbox today. Other than when I was talking about the coelacanth, I got really into that. I love coelacanths, man. They're cool. We're all lobed-finned fish. We should feel a we should feel a kinship with them. We are all lobed-finned fish, other than the bugs and the mollusks. What mollusks even live on land? Like slugs and snails? Is that it? I don't think there's any, like, land clams. Are there any land clams? Do they walk around on their little land legs? I don't think so. Nope, not what I wanted to do. That's something to look up. Are there any... What species of mollusk live on land? Exclusively. And I half expect to be told, like, oh yeah, it's mostly just slugs and snails, but there are a few others of different kinds of species. You wouldn't really think of them as mollusks, but you know, that's fine. They're there. If you're interested in reading more, why don't you donate to the Wikipedia so we can stay open? And can continue to get sued by random celebrities who want us to change their pages. Or we can continue funding moderation so we can decide whether or not a moderator who we've allowed, who is getting paid by a random celebrity to edit their page at their own discretion, is allowed. I don't know. I definitely don't think we could ever have world peace without getting rid of the human spirit. Like, it's got a lot of cool stuff, you know? Ingenuity, determination. I feel like Undertale, that's the strength of Undertale. You know, putting the qualities of humanity on full display and also having them be both positive and negative things. You know, the determination to do things right is also the determination to do that at any cost, and that can go positive or negative. I'm not making excuses for all of you who did the genocide route in Undertale, or the no mercy route, whatever we want to call it. It doesn't matter. That game came out a bazillion years ago, so it doesn't matter what we call stuff anymore. As long as nobody's using the term Omega Flowey, it's fine. It's Photoshop Flowey. Deal with it. I don't know. I just wish we could be better. So that I wouldn't... I guess, like, I want the world to be better so I don't have to, like, worry about stuff. That's it. I don't want to hear about people dying prematurely when it could have been avoided if they just didn't have to face the idea of going bankrupt for, like, a medical procedure they needed. Or people who get injured because, like, or die because their literal where they live just doesn't have the basic, like, public amenities that we take for granted. I don't know. It's wild listening to the random tales of fires 50 years ago or 100 years ago where it's like, yeah, we called the fire department, but the only fire department was a volunteer one, and it took them 8 hours to get there, and it's like, Jesus Christ. And that was just the way it was? Yikes. I don't know. We definitely take a lot of things for granted. And in many ways, that's just the way it is. We live in a world where you don't expect to be destroyed. You don't really see people get destroyed, and that's good. We shouldn't want to see a world where people get eliminated, get destroyed, get punished for things that are just not their fault. I don't know. I'm just always upset we don't live in a kinder world, I guess. Although I'm pretty sure the solution isn't to turn off the meanness even more and make it a worse world. I know that's always my pitch, but it's a bad pitch. I know that. And oftentimes, especially with some of these things, like when I say like we should blow up the moon, or boil the oceans, or do this or that, like that's tongue-in-cheek. That is me being a little, that's me being a little crap just to rile up people. Oftentimes though, it riles up people in the wrong way. Instead of getting people to think like, oh yeah, we do horrible things. Maybe we should, or I support why do I support the things I support is really what I want people to think about. And it never does that. People are just like, how can you claim to be morally superior to me when you want worse outcomes? And it's like, yeah, but like, let's be real. The worst outcomes I want are impossible to achieve with our current technology and are purely hypothetical. Whereas the horrible things you want are actually being done to people right now. Like, do you not support the horrible thing? No, I love horrible thing. And it's like, yeah, well, if we ended up having an actual AI that could dictate the terms of humanity's future, I would probably actually be against it in real life. I know, I'm a hypocrite, I'm a coward, blah blah blah. But when I say stuff like that, you realize like we can just take it as a thought experiment, right? Like, it's words, we don't have to take it at face value. Especially when I'm not saying things like, I wanted to see a specific group of people destroyed, or I want to see this or that. It's very general stuff. My anti-humanness is very general. I mean, it would have to be. Like, can you imagine a specific kind of anti-humanness? There's too many people to be specific. You just end up bigoted at that point. And that's pretty half-assed if you're gonna be anti-human, you know. Anti-human sentiment should be transcending bigotry. Why would you stop and care about people to the level where you can identify, like, what you dislike about them if you're anti-human? I just don't like the vibe, and that's why we're ending the simulation early. Bing bang boom. I don't know. I feel like other than the coelacanth thing, I kind of talked around in circles a lot. And that's unfortunate. I kind of like having a point. It's like the basic story structure you hear everywhere. You want a beginning, a middle, and an end. Unfortunately, I have a beginning, and then we just wind around and 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 around. It's too bad. Maybe if I had a script, maybe things would be a little less off-kilter and less repetitive, a little more structured. You're basically getting the free-formed stream of consciousness Luppi straight off the tap. Hopefully you're like one of those cats that awkwardly sticks your head under a faucet that's running. Unless, like, somebody getting cholera from an old muddy spigot. I don't know. I don't think I've read about people getting cholera lately. I think that's a good thing. It's preventable disease. Just don't mix in filth with water. Have inspections for water regularly, you know? Super simple stuff. I'm gonna grab my my fire flower, and we're just gonna burn those down. I'd apologize for yawning, but at this point, we all know the general state I'm in at this point. Oh well. My only regret, other than not putting away the political soapbox when I had the chance. I had multiple chances to, and I still just kept keeping it out, kept going on it. I don't know. At the same time, nobody's been like, man, what are you talking about? Why are you such a... Why are you such a socialist? I don't know. Why am I such a socialist? Is it because I believe in empathy? Is that what makes me a Satanist? Is that what makes me a cold-blooded lizard person leftist? Is that what makes me wrong in the eyes of God? The idea that if I saw a person who needed help, I would actually take some time out of my day and maybe see if I could help them. That must be what's wrong with the world. All the people wasting that time that should be given to our overlords, to our masters, and instead using it to help people. People who aren't adding money to the company, who aren't adding value to the stocks. And if the numbers don't climb, what are we really doing? We're not gonna get to space with low numbers. Do you know how expensive it is to get a rocket into space? You know how expensive it's gonna be to get Elon Musk to Mars and not have him die on the first attempt? Do you know how much money we're gonna have to spend? You know where that money goes? It goes right back into the pockets of the billionaires who own these companies doing stuff. And that's why they're okay doing it. The government, we don't really recoup those losses. And then people complain about it to us. But if you own enough companies, you can just keep spending the same money and keep getting it back. That's not really what any of these guys are doing, but some of them I kind of set up like that. I imagine. And that's not getting onto, like, when you have enough money, like, the sheer wealth, it continues to accumulate. Like, you could just spend it irresponsibly and it would be fine. Like, once you're in the hundreds of billions, tens of billions, like, the money just keeps growing. That's how things like that work. It's like the difference between throwing a bucket of snow at someone and having an avalanche happen. It's all about the sheer volume. Yeah. I don't know. Also, I hope you guys picked up the sarcasm of me calling myself a leftist when I literally spent the first part of this video talking about all the material gains I have, which are pointless and entirely wasteful. And I know it's not like in real life. I know in real life, socialists don't give up stuff. Like, socialism is different than how people in America would describe it. I know. Have I ever read Karl Marx? Of course not. Would I defend Karl Marx? I don't know. Sometimes to be a troll, I do. I think it's funny. I think it's funny to be in a conversation when somebody else who's never read Karl Marx is like, yeah, this is what's wrong with the world. Socialist bad, communist bad, blah, blah. And it's like, yeah, I've never read Karl Marx either. I'll play devil's advocate for him, though. If Abraham Lincoln wrote to him, there's got to be something that went on in his head that was worth, like, poking around and seeing what's going on there, you know? Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Abraham Lincoln was dumb. Maybe he never got shot. Maybe his head just imploded because he was just such a dumb guy. And that's why we put his head on Mount Rushmore. As a memorial of, like, don't be like this guy. Read a book. It's not like he was a lawyer and a wrestler and potentially, like, gay or bi. I don't know. And it's not like he was president of... Especially like the people like, yeah, he's probably gay and that's why he got assassinated. God did it. Divine judgment. It's not like he was president during an entirely, like, tumultuous time, you know. It's not like opinions were heated. It's not like we know who did it and why they did it. We never got any testimonial. We don't know... Then everyone found a bullet in his skull. His head just did that. It's like JFK. His head just did that. And well, I maintain that is the funniest JFK theory. Like, once you reach that point of ironic conspiracy consumption, there's no saving your brain. It's like the 30-year-old person brain rot. I may not be using words like Sigma or the other ones you kids use sometimes, allegedly. But, you know, I ironically and sometimes unironically consume conspiracy theorists media. And that's probably even worse. That's way worse. But that's why we gotta blow up the moon. Because it rings. We don't know why it does. And that's why I gotta blow it up. It could be alive. It could be a bell that's supposed to ring in a new year without humanity in it. You never know. Could be true. And I say there's no fear like fear of the unknown. Ugh. I don't know if I've still got it. I don't think I do. I'm too tired and weird to still have anything. But at least we did go on a few rants that weren't political. I'm still thinking about coelacanths though. And I actually wouldn't do anything to defend the world for them. Like, there's a lot of things we could do, and I'm not doing them. I recently talked to a family member about starting a nonprofit, and I did this in a car. And after that, all my YouTube ads were like nonprofit, like starting companies and stuff. And it's like, thanks phone, thanks Google. Why are you watching me? Why are you listening in? I've never really had that so blatantly happen to me. I know, I'm very lucky. For as online as I am, I'm very lucky. Usually the ads I get are like things where it could just be applicable to everybody. Or it's like, yeah, of course you're telling me to do this or buy this because like I literally looked this up on your website. That makes sense. But for Google to just be like, oh yeah, we heard you say nonprofit through your phone. So now all your ads are nonprofits. Deal with it. What are you gonna do? Start a nonprofit? Become rich from it? Because you're exploiting people who are giving their time and money? So that you can pretend to do a good thing and enrich yourself off it? It's like, I don't know. I was just interested in knowing how to make one. And where would be the best areas to make one to do the most good. And if it would be possible to do like a PETA-like thing, except instead of being against the exploitation of animals, to be against like health insurance. Like, could we do a PETA that's against health insurance? That's my thing. Because when I was a kid, like PETA was getting dragged through the mud because like people were throwing paint on celebrities who had fur coats and stuff. Can we do something like that now to health insurance execs? Like we can fill water balloons with water. It doesn't even have to be paint. I'd love to fill them up with paint. I feel like that'd be more tricky. But, you know, we could. But I feel like that would definitely be illegal. It's assault. Everything's assault now. Can't let us have anything good. We could live in a world where every celebrity gets milkshaked. Oh no, we can't. Because the ones who get milkshaked are the blowhard cowards. We get milkshaked for justifiable reasons, probably. I don't know. Looking at you, Nigel Farage. You're not even from my country. I only know you from Songify the News. And Reddit. Unfortunately enough. Like, Songify the News actually makes them seem kind of okay if you're not aware of, like, the context of the news clips they take from. And then, in real life, he's controversial. He's a right-winger kind of guy. Very pro-UK, for UK's sake only. He was a Brexit dude. I don't know. But he's definitely made a lot of money from doing that, so I don't know. But he did get milkshaked once, I remember that. He's not the most prominent I mean, he might be, actually. He might be the most prominent milkshakey. Is that what we'd call them? Milkshakies? People who get milkshaked? It sounds kind of lame, but I mean, you know, that's kind of on brand, I guess. But yeah. I also remember a few times where, like, I want to say it was like 2018, getting into arguments online with people like, yeah, and getting hit by a milkshake was the worst thing that happened to this guy. It gave him brain damage. They put concrete in that thing. And it's like, okay, If they did put concrete in it, then like that sucks. Well, that's not a milkshake at that point. That's a that's concrete. That's a block of concrete in a cup. I don't know. At the same time, though, kind of scary because like some things seem to be ramping up where if you were to throw a milkshake at certain kinds of the politicians, you might end up dead. I don't know. I feel like that's the way it's kind of going. It might not be there yet in some countries, but I don't know. I wish more people were standing up to defend our rights to a milkshake random politicians. And you can say, well, Luppi, how would you feel if some person you voted for got milkshaked? And it's like, I mean, if the person doing it has a legitimate grievance, like, do it. I don't care. It ruins their clothes and it ruins their day. Oh well. They got elected. Let them feel like shit. They get paid more than me and do less work, so I don't care. The fact that you're arguing that we shouldn't already makes you like my enemy. We should all be arguing that all politicians, regardless of affiliation, deserve to be hit with a milkshake. Everybody who's been elected to political office deserves a kick in the pants and a boot to the head. And if you disagree with me, because they're people you like, who you voted for, and your feelings about voting for them affect how you feel about yourself too, you're part of the problem. More people just need to accept that, you know, maybe if you want bad things to happen to people, you should just want bad things to happen to people like you too. Because it looks awfully suspicious when all the people you want the bad things to happen to are a very specific group of kinds of people. When I say more people deserve a boot to the head and a kick in the pants, like, that's vague. I'm happy if that happens to anyone. Other than, like, my mom. Or my younger sister. Like, I wouldn't be okay with that, but, you know, if we're talking solely political figures, it's like, that's fine. They're not running for office. They've never been in political office. I hope people would be kind of like that too. They'd have that openness of mind to say, oh wow, there's a bat. Cool. Where'd you come from, friend? We have really laid waste to this area. I know I kind of went off on a bunch of tangents and kind of zoomed out mentally. But we've gone full like Fern Gully on this crap. Holy smokes. What's the villain from Fern Gully? Haxus or something? Hexus? Oxus? Toxic? I don't know. I'm trying to wonder if I've ever seen Fern Gully all the way through. Oh hey, this is cool. That's neat. I don't want to be down here, but that's cool, I guess. Where am I in relation to stuff? So we'll probably want to get rid of all of these guys as well. Oh, this side is gonna emotionally break me. But we did manage to get a lot of this stuff dealt with. That's good. We will actually, what am I doing? Boop. You're mine now. Let's see. What are we gonna do? Probably chop down trees until our axe breaks, and then we'll go back to our base, bring more stuff, If we have... Our inventory is going to be full of all the wood we acquired. Okay. That's how it goes. That's fine. A-okay, it's fine. But yeah, I do feel really weird about... Or not weird, but I do kind of... It gives me pause. It makes me think. Whenever I do go on these weird political rants. And I do describe them like weird political rants because I don't want to glorify what I do here because I have my own perspective, you know? But that perspective is shaped by the things I consume and by media and information that I'm exposed to. So I'm not going to pretend like I'm a knowing things well kind of guy. I'm not going to pretend that I'm right. You know? I know there are a lot of people on this platform and on platforms in general who would. But I don't want to tell you guys, like, this is how I think, you should think like this, blah, blah, blah. If you don't think like this, you're evil. In general, I wouldn't really pull out the evil card until, like, if you're pro people getting hurt, then yeah, I think you're a bad person. If you openly want to hurt people, yeah, you're a terrible person. Please go away. Please go die. Go fall in a pit. Dig a nice hole and then wither away in it, you know. But I don't know, most of us are just people living our lives. And it's pretty rare to find people, even if they have... I don't know. I want to say it's pretty rare, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. I don't go outside, and I still know multiple people where, like, if they got the chance, they'd probably hurt me. And I'm not even any of these groups they hate. I'm just outspoken and anti-whatever their dumb opinions are, and that's good enough for them. I don't know. I don't know. I'm glad I moved back home, though, when I did. And it gave me a really cool perspective that pretty much anyone who's twice my age is like 50-50 on whether or not they're actually a cool person or they're just full of garbage. Oh yeah, you're a smart kid. And it's like, I am... At the time when I was hearing this stuff, I was like 26, and it's like, I am... Or 27, 28? I was some sort of age at some point. I'm 34 now, so I'm at a different point in my life. But it's really wild when people who have nice things to say about you, really respect the work you do, appreciate it, turn around and like, actually, you're a bad person because we disagree politically. And also our disagreement politically is whether or not it's okay to say something like, we have to kill the globalists, you know? That's very, very loaded language. Well, it's not really loaded language, and it's like, what do you mean when you say that? Well, I mean, we gotta... Yeah, that's the point. You're stumbling now. To be fair, in this situation, it's not a pretend situation. It was really people who were like, yeah, we gotta kill the globalists. They did illuminate me on what they actually meant, because they literally said we gotta kill the actual group of people we want to kill. So I have no empathy for people who openly state the same things they do, because it's a very, very slim chance that you don't agree all the way with what they agree with. It's not really a discussion for Minecraft, I feel. It's not a discussion for Minecraft at all. But at the same time, there are people in real life that you may encounter who seem like perfectly normal people. You know, they raised families, they go to work, And yet, for no reason at all, they want innocent people to die horribly. And if I didn't experience that, I wouldn't really believe it. Because I'm a naive... I'm not really a good person. I don't really think I am. Like, it's that thing where honest people don't think about lying or, like, cheating people, but people who lie and cheat think about that and believe everybody's gonna do it. I'm definitely the person who's lied and cheated. People might even do it again. I don't know. I feel bad about stuff though. I'm not one of those slimy people. That makes it kind of worse, right? I'm aware of the wrongness of my actions, but I've done it before for personal gain, and I may do it again for personal gain again. But I'm not gonna do anything totally unethical unless it's for a really big gain. That's a really terrible opinion. That's a really terrible perspective. That's my character flaw. I'm really self-serving. And also, if you catch me on the right subject, I never shut up, even if I know nothing about them. It's almost like looking in a mirror, isn't it? I hope not. I hope you guys are a little less talky and a little more action. I'm no action and a lot of talking, so everything I do is a waste. It's all just downhill from here for me. Oh well. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, but like the times when you were like lying to people and cheating people, like you were a kid. Like you haven't done that stuff as an adult. So why judge yourself so harshly? And it's like, well, if I don't, then I don't know, maybe I'll do it again. It's like, I don't know. You feel bad. Your day is ruined if you see like one of those not pets, but like abandoned animal commercials. Your day is ruined just thinking about like lost pets. Like you're a softie now, Luppi. You just gotta keep thinking about the impact your actions have on people, and you'll be fine. And that's something I do try to keep aware of. Once again, like, what got me started on this tangent is the impact one's words can have on another person. So the real takeaway here is don't put me on a pedestal because I'm just another pile of trash. But if you gain something from what I say, it's try to do your best to do right by people. We can live in a world that's fair. A little more fair. We can live in a world that's a little more kind. But it does require all of us to put in the effort. And it does require all of us to reject everybody who doesn't want that to happen. And I don't know, I'd like to be open-minded enough to say like, well, as long as people are just, their opinions are that they should be able to be mean, that's fine. You know, we can all, you can have your opinions, that's cool. That's life, we're a free country, blah, blah, blah. But the moment you actually want to make that a reality, where you can be mean with impunity, you know, that's when we put on the boots. And that's when you're getting a boot to the head, buddy. You're getting a kick in the pants and a boot to the head. You've earned it. Golf clap. Slow clap. I don't know. I'm definitely a mean person who's trying to be better. I'm not gonna lie and say I'm a nice person. I'm a saint. God talks to me and me alone. Golly. That'd be a thing. God talks to me. He told me to play Minecraft. He told me to keep playing Minecraft until he visits me again. He came down in a rainbow-colored submarine. that tell me that we need to buy gold so we can throw gold bars at people out of the top of the world's tallest building. Ah. That would ruin people. That would wreck people. That would be that'd be bad. Throwing gold off a building. But I'm sure it'd make some really cool splatters though. I'm sure it would like make some really new cool indents in the gold. But it would probably do way worse to people. I don't remember where we got talking about throwing gold on people. Oh yeah, because I was making fun of people who act like they have the privilege or the right to be terrible people. And I mean, we all have the privilege, it's just you never know when your other privileges will get revoked because you were mean to the wrong person. So it goes. It'd be nice if we lived in a world where being mean to anybody would result in people thinking differently of you. But you know, we live in a world where sometimes if you're mean to the right people, that's clout, baby. Let's ruin people's lives for fame and fortune. But it's not always like that, so you know, at the same time, it doesn't really do anyone any good to repeatedly. I don't know. What's the word? How do I want to sum this up? It doesn't do us any good to farm drama, probably. All we're doing is priming ourselves to respond really well to emotionally volatile stuff. When really we should be priming ourselves to enjoy the little things, to appreciate this world we've been given. We don't... Okay, we've almost filled up our inventory, so maybe we'll go back now. Yeah, we'll go back now. We'll have to come back next time. Well, next time we'll finish up cutting down these trees and we'll start gathering. Ideally, we'd get rid of all the trees and then we'd gather all the netherrack, and then the next time we can place it and hopefully get a little closer, and then hopefully sooner than later we'll be done placing and gathering netherrack. We'll be done with this volcano. We can put lava wherever we want and fire. That would be nice. And hopefully someday I'll get it in my head to quit saying words like kill and die. Sometimes it's awkward to be like destroyed or eliminated. But I feel like sometimes the language is a little too strong for just playing Minecraft. Even though this game also says like, yeah, you were killed by this or you died by this. Tossed into a fire, burnt to a crisp. So I don't know. I guess the consideration is I don't really know my viewer demographics that well. So I do, while playing games for kids, I do kind of want to have a language that's more kid-friendly, while also not wanting to dumb things down, I guess. I don't want to become a kid channel. If you're a kid who watches me, I don't understand why. Hopefully you're getting something out of this that isn't like, oh, it's fun to say we should boot to the head and kick in the pants is funny. Although if that's all you get out of me, it could be so much worse. So good on you. Good on you. Okay, what do we got? Lots of random stuff. Oh, hey, we got food stuff. Let's move the food stuff where it needs to go. Neat. And I know we have other things that we can move elsewhere too, but we'll worry about that later. Someday we'll have these all organized again. Someday. That one's full, that one's stuffed. There we go. Actually, no. Oh, we had another... Okay, whatever. You're my new wood. Oh, we got wool. Okay, that's weird. Alright. And unfortunately, we cannot see... So we're gonna have to go back. We're gonna have to go back because I want to see what we've done. Oh, I want to grab the axe again. I want to grab the other axe. Oh, that's something we gotta do too. Okay. Alrighty. We're getting closer with this project. Step by step, bit by bit. 1 or 2 or 5 or 10, a dozen. A baker's dozen worth of political soapbox rants. What are you gonna do? Watch another video? Probably, definitely. I don't think anybody watches all these. I don't think anybody watches these all the way through. So one hand, I'm fine, as long as you quit watching before I go on the political rant. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, but what about the coelacanth rant? More people need to love the coelacanth, and it's like, that's true. We'll just have to, we'll just have to try to convince people whenever we end up playing some other game, like Animal Crossing New Horizons. We'll use Animal Crossing New Horizons as coelacanth propaganda. We'll name our town Coelacanth. Or not our town, our island, Coelacanth. And we'll have coelacanths everywhere. They will be like security cameras. Every street corner will have a coelacanth. And you'll have to say, we coelacanth every time you encounter one. That's the world I want to create. That's right, cow. We coelacanth. And you coelacanth. You know, it's not getting lost on me, the scale of this project we're continuing. This is kind of wow. We've placed a lot of stone. We've placed a lot of netherrack. It's a darn shame that it keeps snowing, though. We're just gonna have to add more lava and fire. Yeah, well, that's what we did. That's what we did. We had forests here, and now we do not. We may have to clear out that. Maybe. I don't know. And we will have to clear out a little bit on that side. But at this point, at least this little area is gonna be fine for working on it. That area should be okay, more or less. I think this is probably gonna be fine. We might have to get rid of a few of these up there. But yeah, we're getting there. We are getting there. Thank you for watching. I am sorry this is so repetitive and boring, but at least you get to hear me rant about random stuff. And I actually brought up new things, so... And I didn't fall asleep. I yawned, but I did not fall asleep. So that's cool. I don't think I'd fall asleep while recording, but you know, I would definitely end a recording early so I could sleep if I needed to. So I'll see you guys next time. We will continue cutting down trees. We'll gather netherrack, and then the next time after that, we'll be placing it. Hopefully, my hope would be we could knock out that area next. And then it's just going around and filling in caves, expanding our horizons, and then we'll be gathering lava and placing fire. That's the plan. Have a horrible little, I say a horrible little, it's a horrible big, weird mountain. Volcano, whatever. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Inappropriate song. Inappropriate song. Not even funny. Fitting though. This is the kind of music selection I enjoy. It's not ironic, but it is not fitting.